Hello, friends of the internet. Welcome to General Nerdcast, episode 73.
Yeah. Those are the numbers.
Didn't even think about it before we started. I was just like, I'm just going. Episode 73. We're going to talk to you some general nerdy things, and today we're going to talk to you about some books that we really like and enjoyed and had a lot of fun reading / listening to.
Yeah. Started out with...
First of all, before we start, I do want to apologize to our audience for me missing last week's. Without going into too much detail, I do have some health issues where every now and again I'll basically just get into a fit of vomiting. It's not food poisoning, it's not the flu, it's just like something internally that's fucked up. And so last time we were supposed to record this, I spent the whole day in the bathroom. So
yay!
Just an apology. It wasn't like I was, out partying on a yacht with topless models and was just like, fuck that. I was just really sick.
That would probably have been a pretty okay excuse.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
I'd be like, you know what? I get it.
Yeah. We understand.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so you were going to say?
Start us off. We got Bobby.
Yeah, wherever Taylor's
Yeah.
at. He's down here somewhere.
We got to figure that out eventually. Taylor.
Are you guys trying to point me out?
Yeah, but we don't have you on the screen like we normally used to.
Block you guys. Yeah.
Don't do that. Hey.
Stop it.
I almost ripped my headphone out.
Don't do that.
And then Tyler, as I adjust Yoda.
That's Tyler.
Yeah.
That's you just his little earpiece.
Yeah.
So books. We're
Yeah.
talking about books.
E-books.
Who wants to have a book first?
I can talk books.
Let's talk books, Taylor.
So I want to get it out of the way right from the get-go. I think arguably the best and most influential book series that I've read is Lord of the Rings. That just
figures.
I mean, it's just a given, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's so obvious that those are fucking incredible books. Just that whole universe that they have. So yeah, Lord of the Rings, getting it out of the way. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more obscure stuff, mainly stuff from my childhood that kind of, really guided like the path that I took through life, and made me who I am. And so I didn't just mess anything up, did I?
No, you're good.
Oh, I had a little notification that I tried to click away from. Anyways, so y'all remember the Falling Up poems, the books?
Falling
where
Up?
the sidewalk ends?
Oh,
Shit
yeah. What's his name?
Yeah.
Silverstein or whatever?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that... I actually probably have one that I can show you. Yeah.
I have some in a box in the garage, I'm pretty sure. I think Sarah has
Has a few.
where the sidewalk ends, and I don't know if she has Falling Up or not, but I know she has Where the Sidewalk Ends, and the other one that he did that I can't remember.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the names of them.
Yeah, I can't remember now. But Taylor just left to go find some, so I guess we'll just make a lot of noise until he comes back.
Yeah. Let's talk about... Oh,
Here we go.
Oh,
I
shit,
took
he came back.
the covers off some. But, so here's
Yeah.
Okay.
Falling Up. There's, I guess, a sweet picture that my aunt drew of me being cold. Or with the cold.
Nice.
But yeah, Shel Silverstein. But basically, it's like a collection of poems and just like random ass drawings about the poems.
Yeah.
But it was just so intriguing as a kid. You read through a book, and it's hard to maintain your attention as a kid if you're reading a book about one specific thing, like a story from start to finish. So that's why I really enjoyed these books so much, because each page was something completely different. There's the sidewalk ends. Yeah. Yeah, so each story, it's a poem and it's completely different, and it kind of, as a kid, opened up the idea that if you're wanting to tell a story, it doesn't have to be an entire book worth of text. you can still tell an interesting or intriguing story in just like a paragraph. So I remember that really influenced a lot of my writing style when I was in school. Whenever I would have to write a paper or write something about it, I always referred back to these books to try to make, well, partially because I was lazy. Well, am lazy. But to try to figure out how to write as few words as possible to still convey the message that I wanted to, because that's just less work and more fun. So the poems from Shel Silverstein and his books, I think, were pretty influential to me when I was younger. The next set is, I don't know if I like the stories more or the artwork more, but all the Calvin and Hobbes comics.
Yeah.
You guys remember that shit?
Yeah.
Dude, that was so cool. Like 100% opened up everyone's imagination. And, you know, just the very basics of Calvin and Hobbes, not knowing if, like, he's just pretending with his tiger or if his tiger is, like, really alive. Like,
yeah.
Just that whole premise and you know, really exploring, like, a child's imagination and how they can make whatever they want real through their imagination, I thought was just so cool when I was younger. I remember I would get in trouble in school because I was supposed to be reading, like, another book or something, and I'd have my Calvin and Hobbes, like, down to the side, and I'd just be flipping through it. Like, I got my book taken away from me so many fucking times.
Yeah, most kids hide Playboys inside their textbooks. Taylor's just, like, comics. little Calvin and Hobbes comics.
Yeah. But I thought that it was weird because when I was growing up, like, and I would talk to my friends about it, not a lot of my friends were super into it, but then as I got older, I, like, found more and more people that were super into those comics as well. And it was like, oh, wait, why the fuck didn't anybody I know like them? Like, it would have been nice to talk to somebody about it being younger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, but I do have something to say now that I thought about it. It just comes back to, like, even, like, the now generation, everybody's into, like, super into comic books and stuff. Like, where were you assholes 20 years ago when I was in school? Like,
yeah.
It's because they weren't making cool movies back then for them.
Because I don't know how to read. I just like the flashy pictures and explosions. That's fair. All right. No, you're right. You're right. Now that I think about it, that makes sense.
That reminds me of, like, when Pokemon Go came out, and then they had that meme about, like, Mean Girls. You guys remember that?
I don't think I saw that one.
Mean Girls with Lindsay Lohan.
Well, yeah, no, I don't think I saw the movie.
And it was like hop in, nerd. We're gonna go, like, Pokemon hunting or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I did see that one.
And then the next one is like, you still play Pokemon?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like
yeah.
like, I never quit, motherfucker. Yeah. So trending, but I think my favorite book series. I hope that it's not, like, super obvious or super dumb. I feel like I'm going to get called out for this. Like, I got called out for saying that Call of Duty had an interesting story. But books,
never let it
books
die.
that I can really go back to. And don't get me wrong, like, I really enjoy a lot of books.
Yeah.
But the ones that I can go back to because I'm so invested in that universe and the lore behind it is the Halo books. Like, I started rereading them again, and at least the first book's writing, I think the first book has the best writing because they changed directors throughout the book, or not directors, writers throughout the book series. It wasn't always the same person, so, like, the style that they would tell the story was a little bit different.
Yeah.
But, like, every time I read them, I just get so nostalgic, and I get so, like amped up, and it's one of those books or a series of books that I literally have to read, like, start to finish every time I pick it up. And I've done it, like, 3 or 4 times. Like, it's not just like, okay, well, gosh, when is this chapter going to end? Like, you know, I just need to get to the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning just continually reading.
When's the end of the book? I need to get to the end of the book.
Yeah, I need to get to the end of the book so I can start again. But just the whole universe about Halo, I really like so much. And I like that it's a franchise that, at the time that they made the books, Halo wasn't as big of a name as Halo is now. Mm-hmm. So the foresight that they had to be like, hey, we made this really cool video game. Maybe we should also make some books about it, explaining, some of the stuff that we can't fit into our game. So the
Yeah.
foresight of the people who are part of the Halo team to actually put it into print is just awesome. I mean, think about how many video games there are that you would appreciate if there was a book series to go along with it.
Yeah, there's
And the fact that Halo did that, I really, really, really like. So, yeah, I think
Which one were you thinking?
number one, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But then,
I mean,
the other ones, like maybe not your so standard books, would be the Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends, Falling Up, things like that. It goes. Halo.
Hey
Calvin
Ghost.
Hobbes.
Hey Ghost is a good book.
It goes. They were just sleeping, and as soon as I start recording, they get up.
Hey, I heard you talking over there.
Say hi, motherfuckers. Oh, Luna's something goes.
Bye, motherfucker.
Luna's like, we gotta get out of here. No, they're trying to film us. Get out of here. We gotta go. Or she's just humping him. Either way.
Yeah,
Hey
Well,
Ghost.
Yeah, those are my picks. I mean, if we had an extra hour or 2 hours, I could talk about like 20 books, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it short and sweet. Those are my top 3+1 picks.
Nice. So, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go?
You can go next, but the
What was the game book you were thinking
the
of?
game I was thinking of that I would actually like if they had some sort of book behind it or whatnot. Maybe there is. I haven't looked around, but like the Dark Souls universe, I would love to know if they had
That would be cool.
some sort of like bigger backstory behind all of that, or if it's literally we're just gonna try and kill you.
I can
Really?
picture Dark Souls having like a really, really interesting like graphic novel set.
Yeah, I feel like they
That'd
could
be
make
awesome,
some
yeah.
really good books from those games,
I
from
didn't think
that
about that one,
universe. So
I was thinking BioShock, but they actually just a BioShock book actually just came out that explains kind of like
oh, okay.
what happened before you get to Rapture
Oh, all right.
in the first game. So,
I mean, books are just such a nice little nod to like the hardcore nerds that enjoy
yeah.
the franchise, because someone can play a game and they can just enjoy it, right? They can play through casually and pick up on whatever story they want, be like, oh yeah, this is cool. But there's so many people that are like, wait, but okay, like how did we get to this point? Like,
yeah,
can you imagine if they made books about like Portal or Half-Life?
yeah, dude,
Like,
a Half-Life
so much.
book would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, there's so much behind those games that like we just don't know, and it's
Yeah.
all just speculation. But actually, like learning the backstories of a lot of the main characters and like how Aperture Science became a thing. Didn't they actually start out? What did they start out as?
I don't
something-
remember.
Totally harmless.
Yeah, I can't remember what their. It's been so long since I played the first one.
Yeah, I
and
was gonna say
listened
it's
to the
been so
story.
long.
I feel like it was something like
I think it's.
stupid, like they made refrigerators or something.
They started out simple, and then I think they
Yeah, I don't know.
aimed.
And then
more
they got
towards
funding.
Space stuff, and then it
Yeah.
turned into all sorts of different experiments and whatnot. Their core business, I really don't remember, but that would be a very interesting book to like. You're reading from some of the scientists' standpoints or something, like as they do, as they're creating experiments in their life throughout the company, and as it proceeded towards how psycho everything started turning out.
Yeah.
I
I
was-
crazy.
I
everything
was
got,
close,
yeah.
but way off. Aperture Science started out manufacturing and distributing shower curtains.
Even better.
So I knew it was something
Refrigerators.
like super innocent.
Yeah, like not even close to real science. Like at least refrigerators,
Yeah.
there's like the freon and the coolant and all the freon is the coolant,
Right.
But it's all like all the stuff inside of it that makes it cool and stay cool, and electricity and the boards and it's sciencey, and then it's just shower curtains.
Yeah, no, it's shower curtains.
We'll keep the water in your shower.
You know what game that I want them to make a book about?
What?
Fucking Mario Kart. How the hell did y'all just decide, let's go racing? We hate each other, right? You keep stealing the princesses, Bowser and Bowser babies, and Mario's doing his own thing, and Luigi's just a scum. And, like...
You watch your mouth.
How did y'all decide, hey, let's get some go-karts with some crazy weapons, like we can have green shells and bananas and shit, and let's just go. Let's fucking go.
That'd be cool, like some web comics or something, or just little short stories of why they all decided that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like Peach was like, okay, if any of you guys can beat me in a race, like that's the one I'm gonna marry. But if I beat all y'all, nobody gets to marry me.
They're like, deal.
Yeah, deal done. I mean, she's like the fucking only girl.
Yeah. Well, Peach and Daisy.
Well,
And then the Koopa
not when
Kid
Mario
ladies.
Kart came out.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess when OG Mario
yeah.
Kart, yeah. Super Mario Kart. Ah, man.
Isn't
Wait,
there like a
sorry.
girl Birdo too? Maybe that's
Well, there's
canon.
Birdo. But who is it? Boy, girl.
I don't
What's the
know.
one with the bow on her head though?
Birdo? The pink one?
That's just Birdo.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Birdo was a dude.
Yeah, the OG lore for Birdo is that, like, he's a boy, but like thinks he's a girl or something. I can't remember the exact behind it, but it's something along those lines.
Huh.
I don't know. It's pretty wild. Yeah, somebody found it in like the original Super Mario book. They were like, "Oh, okay, that's weird," and they posted it on the internet. And everybody's like, "What the fuck? I thought Birdo was a guy." Or, yeah, no, Birdo's a girl.
Thanks.
But that God, I can't remember now. It's a sexually confused dinosaur.
Got it.
That's
Okay,
fucking
fair
Birdo. I can't remember which way it goes or anything like that. But I know that something along the lines of that.
Why do I feel like that phrase describes 2017 so well? Sexually.
Sexually confused dinosaur. Nope. Yeah, I mean, okay.
You never know. Maybe
Like, I
we'll
don't know what I
find something out
am,
about
but I know I'm a
porn.
sexually confused dinosaur.
That's what I'm just gonna identify as from now on.
Sexually confused
Sexually
dinosaur.
confused dinosaur.
Put that in all your character
Yeah.
descriptions and whatnot.
Oh my goodness. Okay, back to books.
Yeah.
Okay.
This took a weird turn. All right.
You can name the guild that, or the clan that.
Sexually confused dinosaur. Our Destiny clan, sexually confused dinosaurs. Nobody's gonna join that clan.
Their loss.
Yeah, right. Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Good laugh.
Okay. Do you want to go? Or
Yeah, I'll go.
we got off topic
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well, that's what we do best.
Perfect.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Books.
We started talking about games. I don't remember.
Anyway,
where you were.
all right. Well, okay. So I guess the thing that got me really into reading and books and shit was Buck Rogers, the 21st Century. It's a super old comic book, and it's basically about a guy that is in the 21st century and travels all through space and fights all these aliens and all this crazy shit. But we had like the whole collection in one giant fucking hardback book.
Yeah.
And I went through the whole thing like 4 times when I was a kid. So like that's kind of like what got me super into comics and kind of like laid the foundation of my nerdy ass self. Because I'd sit at home, I'd play Nintendo or read Buck Rogers. And like that was my life. Like I didn't go outside because outside is overrated. I don't think I went outside to play like a lot until I was like in middle school. I would always just stay inside and like go to school, go home, fucking push the power button on the Nintendo or the Sega and just like boo ba doo ba doo boo boo ba doo ba doo. Or I'd like open the comic books that my dad had and I'd be like, oh cool, this is fucking awesome, and
Probably because you're half ginger.
suck my ass.
I think my
But
outside experience is varied. Like, because during the summers, our grandma would watch us, and she'd pretty much kick us out of the house for the day. Like, all right, go play. You're not allowed back until lunch or dinner or something. So it was forced outside. And then if my buddy was home, I'd go, and we'd either go hang out, ride bikes outside, or we'd go play video games at his place because he had
you're not allowed
consoles.
inside. Go outside, and they're like, all right, we're going to your house.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not going outside because that sucks.
Some days we're outside.
It's
Kind
hot.
of because it had to be, otherwise I'd have to like go find shade somewhere and just sit and be like, all right, 3 hours till lunch.
It's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
So, yeah, it varied.
Yeah, no. But yeah, that's pretty much, I guess, probably the most influential book in my life. It's one that I'll never forget. But I guess the most recent book that I've listened to and read that, like, I don't know, it really spoke to me, I guess, is a really shitty, dumb way to put it, but whatever, was Ready Player One. It's a book by Ernest Cline. It's about, like, a dystopian future where there's, like, power crisis, energy crisis. There's, like, the internet is hard to get a hold of. You can't use the internet. You don't have no power. You have nothing. And, like, they live in something called stacks, where they pretty much just stack mobile homes on top of each other.
Yeah.
Because there's no more room to expand. So they just stack mobile homes on top of each other to create, like, makeshift fucking apartments.
Yeah.
Like, and it's basically, like, about a kid who is in high school that, well, it starts off he's in high school. I don't know when it ends. I guess it's a few years down the road. But he's in high school, and you go to school in something called, that I forgot what it's called. I had it, and then I was about to say it, and then it fucking slipped out of my brain.
Give me a couple minutes. I'll probably get it.
It's called the fucking... Oh, I have the book right here. I can probably just... The Oasis. It's called The Oasis. You go to school in the Oasis. You go to work in the Oasis. Everybody does everything in the Oasis. And to get there, you put on, like, a virtual headset, like gloves, and, like, total, like, almost full body suits, basically, to get into the Oasis. And that's how you walk around. That's how you do everything. Because you can't really, like, live outside in most cities, unless they're, like, really, really big cities.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what happens. And then the guy who created the Oasis dies and creates a contest to everybody to find the 3 keys to open the 3 gates, and whoever can do it first owns the Oasis, gets his fortune, gets everything, and basically follows a bunch of people that are trying to get the 3 keys, and they're, like, almost impossible to get. And, like, he gives you, like, 2-line riddles, and you're supposed to solve everything for the key, what you're supposed to do to get the key, and all this other stuff. It's just really cool. I really like the concept of it, and I was like,
Yeah.
it was just one of those things that I listened to it. I didn't actually read it. I mean, I don't think I've ever actually even opened this. There, I opened it. Because I listen to more books than I actually read now.
Yeah.
But
You do it through Audible?
yeah, self promotion. I also record audiobooks on Audible.
Yeah.
So go look those up.
Listen.
Shameless self promotion. But yeah, Ready Player One. It was just a book that. It was a book that everybody told me to read for a really long time, and I just never did it. And then Sarah and I took a long trip, and it was one of the books on Audible, and I was like, let's just do this. And Will Wheaton narrated it, so it was kind of annoying when he said some words, but because he puts a lot of emphasis on the H in his words.
Yeah, there's a few words
Will
in there that are...
Wheaton. I'm like, dude, come on.
There's a few words
Like,
that, like...
whenever. I'm like, motherfucker, don't. When he was doing the things, he was walking. Like, there's not even an H in that one.
They have a different one narrated by David Nathan.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a second one. I listened to 2 previews before I listened to this, actually, and I think one of them is in a different language, so...
Oh.
Because the one with Will Wheaton, I'm not going to show you my
Excuse me?
phone screen because I'm embarrassed about how broken it is.
Excuse me, it's pronounced Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. That has 9... What is that? God, my screen is so fucking broken. I'm like trying to distinguish the lines.
Bless you, my child.
14.
99,000 reviews. But then the other one, same person by Ernest Cline, but narrated by David Nathan, only has 22. That's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Oh, because the other one's in German. Yeah, you're right. I looked at the description. It's like,
Haschen das Nussnack and Snoosnock.
I'm Jad 2044. Ist thy Welt in Harsh und die?
See,
Yeah.
I listened to the preview of it. I'm like, this isn't
It's
gonna
like,
work.
I don't think I understand what this guy's saying. Not sure if no English anymore or because German.
So,
Yeah.
If
I
you
might
want
have
to
to
listen to
download
it,
this.
you'll have to do the Will Wheaton one, which it's
Unless you speak German.
yeah, unless you speak German.
Or I guess understand German.
Yeah. It's still good though. Even,
Oh, it's great.
Even with the few words you notice throughout it that are
Yeah.
like,
Please don't say it
come
like
on.
that. Yeah.
Hold on, I missed a sentence because I kind of
Yeah,
stopped.
I blacked out in a furious rage.
So, but it's I do agree. It is a really good book.
Yeah. Here, I can read the back page, because that'll tell you what it's about. In the year 2044, reality is an ugly place. That's about all I'm going to read to you. If you want more, you have to buy my books. Shameless self-promotion. Fuck you. No,
Man.
but yeah, Ready Player One. It's a great,
What's
great,
on it
super
now?
good book. If you want to read it. If you want to listen to it. But I recommend it very highly. I mean, I guess we could always just give a shout out to Lord of the Rings, but you know, I mean, obviously that one's kind of huge in all of our worlds. Like,
I kind of feel like if you haven't read and or listened to and or know like the book version of Lord of the Rings, you need a GTFO.
Alright.
or you could probably just, you know, remember the famous part in the books where he slides on the shield and it just looks super sick.
Did you see the famous part in the books?
Yeah, yeah. Don't you remember when you're reading it and then Legolas throws his shield and he slides down the stairs and everything looks super sick?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that he literally wrote that in the book.
Just the look on your faces.
That's one of, like, anybody that's like a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan, that's like one of the worst scenes ever. Like,
Actually,
in
after-
the movie, like in the spot heat of the moment, like the first time I saw it, I was like, that was fucking cool. And then like I thought about it afterwards, like talking to Scott and like Taylor and everybody, I'd be like, you're right, that was fucking awful. Nobody would ever do that. It
Wait,
wouldn't
hang
work.
I do wish they. I don't know. I might take this back, but I kind of feel like the movies would be more interesting, but it's only going to be more interesting to like the nerds that like Lord of the Rings instead of like people that want to watch like a fantasy action blockbuster.
Yeah.
They need more Tom Bombadil. That dude is so cool.
Yeah.
Like all of his parts in the books are just so interesting because it's just like it's all just magic.
Yeah.
You know.
But then it's not actiony enough. He's just a super magical person.
Yeah, but it has to be so cool.
It's not sliding down stairs on a shield and shooting
shield.
people with arrows.
I suppose. But that's my only critique. I want more Tom Bombadil.
Tommy Bomby. That's what I call him. No, I just made that up. I would never actually call him that, but I'm going to call him that forever now.
Tomby Bomby.
Tommy Bomby.
I wonder how upset Scott's going to get at Lord of the Wings. Tom.
I'm going to do it. He might hit me.
By the way, in case you guys didn't understand how much we like Lord of the Rings, every December we have an event called Lord of the Wings, where we all congregate and we get, how many wings? 300 something?
Last year was 4, I think just over 400. The year before that was 600.
Yeah.
I think that was our peak was like 598.
Oh my god.
We get hundreds of wings.
It was fucking awful.
All the Lord of the Rings, start to finish, extended director's cuts.
Yeah, it's like 16 hours of Lord of the Rings on top of 600 wings with a bunch of sweaty dudes in a little house. Like, it's the most amazing thing anybody's ever thought of.
Yeah.
Lots of beer and whiskey.
Yeah, and lots of beer and
Well, I mean, yeah.
yeah, it's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like, it comes in pints. I'm getting
Oh,
what?
Oh, he's super
He
excited.
got really
What are
excited.
we-
Just got up and left. I don't know
what are we
happened.
gonna experience?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know what? You know what? So thinking about movies and stuff that I wish had books, so there was more lore and like more backstory, would kind of be like all of the Miyazaki movies, like Totoro,
okay.
Nausicaa, The Valley of the Winds. and all those movies. I think it'd be really cool to have like he paints a great story and he tells a great story and everything about them. Those movies, I haven't seen all of his movies, but like almost all of his movies, all the movies that I've seen that he's done, I've been like perfect.
Yeah.
Like even like The Cat Returns and like all those movies, but
I haven't seen that one yet.
it's good. It's good. Howl's Moving Castle. I mean, I could obviously probably just name movies off the top of my head forever, but I would just like especially Howl's Moving Castle. I think I want to know more about the war that's going on.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because I just want like I guess
Hey!
Miyazaki. Yes, I could have run and got mine too.
That's amazing.
Looking at Tom Bombadil.
Tommy Bombies. I'm wearing that fucking shirt. I'm wearing that fucking shirt to Lord of the Wings this year, and I'm fucking like, Tommy Bombi! And I'm going to point at myself.
Tommy Bombi!
And everybody's going to punch
Unless,
me.
of course, Scott comes up with new ones.
The what?
I said, unless, of course, Scott comes up with new ones.
Yeah, he might.
I assume he'll hit us up within the next month. But yeah, was that 2015, really?
Yeah, that's 2015.
I still got the sweet wing stains on this shirt. Has to be a white shirt because you wipe your wing.
Yeah. Everybody gets giant white shirts, and we just wipe our hands on our shirts and on everybody, on each other, and yeah, dude, it's probably
okay, man.
It's probably the most fun that we have all year, almost. Like,
Yeah.
if there was a way we could just live stream the whole thing, I'd be like, let's do that because it's a fucking shit show. We have like 2 different TVs set up in 2 different rooms, and they're trying to like sync the sounds, but it's either the Xbox or the PlayStation. One of them runs it a little faster, like just fast enough that halfway through the movie we have to like pause play, and then it like resyncs it. So we're like constantly trying to like balance it all. Dude, it's what are you doing?
All right.
And then there's the one group of people that like really just want to watch the movies.
Yeah. And then
there's the other group that involves me and Bob, where we just get drunk as fuck and eat a bunch of wings.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we've watched like The Fellowship. Like the first half of The Fellowship, everybody's like just zoned in the TV. We're fucking eating wings, and then we have to switch the discs because the movies are so fucking long. And then like we do that, and after we switch the disc, it's like fucking free fucking fall everywhere. Like, nobody's paying attention to anything anymore, and we're all just But there's
And we
always
ended up
like
putting a football helmet on a little kid.
a bunch of run around the house. Yeah, but. There's always like 3 or 4 people that are like actually trying to watch the movies, and like by the end of the night I kind of feel bad, but then I'm like, you knew what you were getting into. You know
these
what
are
this
people that have
means.
been coming for like 5 years. Like, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, if this is your first time ever coming and like that happened and you're like, I just want to watch the movie, they'd be like, you know what? I feel for you. It's your first time.
Tough
Welcome.
shit.
Yeah.
Just wipe your hand off.
Welcome to Lord of the Wings. But yeah, Lord of the Wings.
Anyways,
Our
books.
legacy. Yeah. Oh yeah, and books.
And books.
Today's a good one where we're just going super far off.
Yeah,
Sidetrack
we're
number
just-
2?
That's
3?
yeah, at least 2.
8?
So
Depends on how many different ways we took off of it.
yeah,
That was pretty.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Point being, you need to read or listen to Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Good books.
Yeah, agreed. Great books. And I mean, probably start with The Hobbit and then go to The Fellowship. But you know, that's your business.
Yeah, just do it in order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything
I think
more?
I think I pretty much said everything about the things I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, I guess I'll go into mine. To be honest, as a
From here, I could like squish your eyeball.
Pop. Why?
Pop.
Quit popping my eyes. Okay.
Hi, okay. All right, hi, okay. That sounds like a great book. Keep going.
When I was younger, I really didn't read a lot whatsoever. I think I avoided books as much as I could. But
Because you're too busy playing outside in the shade waiting for lunch.
maybe.
Priorities.
Priorities.
But as I got older, I started reading a little bit more and more. And one of my favorite books, just of all time, it's all the books combined in one, is how I got it. But it is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's good.
Solid.
Because just the connection between all the books and the way the story goes and all the different concepts that come out of the books are it's just a complete shit show. But it's great stories and great like things you wouldn't expect someone to say or do or all sorts of stuff. I will say I wasn't a big fan of the movie that came out for it.
I haven't actually read any of the books, but I watched the movie and I liked the movie.
The movie was okay, but in comparison to the book, it just wasn't. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
The first one is probably the tamest, I would say, in being able to follow the stories.
he's writing the books. He's like, I'm gonna write an actual book, and then like towards the end, he's like, I just don't give a fucking more. And then the next book, he's like, fucking yes, everything's happening.
From the first book to the second book is such a jump because then it starts going into like different dimensions and some time travel aspects and a whole bunch of different stuff. That was a little scary for a second. But it becomes such like it gets a little difficult to follow and considering like, oh wait, how did you even get to this point? At what point did you even do that? And then like in the third book, it touches back on some of that stuff. So I started running out of breath. It's such a good book. I highly suggest it. There was it was either a 6th or a 7th. I can't remember because I read them all together in a one book format. So I don't remember, but there's either a 6th or a 7th. Sorry, what?
How thick was that book?
It was a pretty good size. It was over 1,000 pages, I think.
Big book.
Yeah. And yeah, I really can't remember how many pages it was now, but either a 6th or 7th book was being made. It was like halfway written, but unfortunately the author did pass away before I was able to finish it. So that part of the story I would love to know, but the way the last book ended, it kind of sucks. To where I wanted it to continue. And with the way the books read, it could actually continue in some way. And obviously he was going to try in some way to get it to continue. But it also ended to where you can be okay with, all right, well, the story is over. Kind of. Like, I still don't like the ending because I know there's more after it out there somewhere and I want to read it. But I'm okay that it did end, and it kind of did a loop to where a majority of the stuff didn't entirely matter, but it was a crazy ride along the way. It's if you want to open up your mind to just crazy thoughts and sciencey stuff and whatnot, I recommend reading this one. It's a great fantasy shit show.
Nice.
Fantasy shit show.
Like I said, I only saw the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see...
Yeah,
I didn't read any of the books or anything.
They did what they could with the movie.
For visual reference, this book is 936 pages. So, is that about how thick it was?
It might be a little bit bigger.
This is also a really good book, by the way. Shantaram. It's a book about a guy that goes through India. More adult book.
Yeah.
But
let's see.
Yeah, Douglas Adams. I couldn't remember his name for a moment. But yeah, I highly recommend that book. That's probably one of my favorite ones that I've read over the past couple of years. There's a political-ish... it's not really political. It's more of a, like a post-apocalyptic... the civilization has kind of fallen in America and whatnot, and it's just people living off the land and everything, and trying to recreate a American government for themselves eventually. It gets a little political, but it's in such great detail. It's, was it the 14th Amendment or something like that? I can't... Oh, God, I can't remember the exact title of the book, but that one's really good because it goes into such big detail of how...
Is it actually about our 14th Amendment?
Maybe. I've only gotten half.
Or is it like their version of the 14th Amendment?
No, I think it has some resemblance of the 14th Amendment, but I've only gotten halfway through it, and then I let somebody borrow it for a while, so I started rereading it to kind of remember the full-on story and everything, but the amount of detail that author goes into when describing how a person's reacting to after firing a gun and killing someone or surviving such an event and whatnot is so detailed and graphic that it's actually really interesting to read.
Trying to find the page number of all of the books combined, but I can't.
Yeah, you'd have to find the combination of it, but yeah. So I don't know. Those are probably some of my favorite books so far. I mean, another fun one to read just because is a completely stupid book, but I hope they serve beer in hell.
Oh.
That one's funny. It's also like you're okay with feeling like laughing at the main character in this book because he's such a jerk.
Because he's such a piece of shit. Yeah.
So that one's just like a total. It's kind of like a frat boy book. Like this guy's just total. Oh, I can do whatever I want and whatnot. And whether you believe the stories or not, he doesn't care. He's just writing these and his life experiences in a book. So
okay.
But and they don't always
be like based on a true story.
Like a bunch of different stories compiled into a book of just things he's done throughout his life. Some of them worked out for him, others did not work out for him. Like I think he gets puked on and a whole bunch of other stuff in one scene. It's funny. It's a funny read. If you're looking for just like a book where you can just read stories and laugh at the main character or something, this could be one. But you also might not like it because it does get pretty vulgar and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
fair enough. Fun fact about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy: it was a radio show.
Yep.
Before it was a book.
Yeah, the author.
I didn't know that either.
He started like he was laying in the grass in a park at night in where it was somewhere in England, I think.
And then he was taken through the galaxy as a hitchhiker.
No, but he kind of had that idea in that park.
Oh.
Like he had that idea of what if space happened and whatnot, and
what if space happened? Well,
sorry.
Spoiler alert, Tyler. Space did happen, and it's out there.
It's fake. No, what if like space travel happened through alien beings and whatnot, or what if I just got sucked into space and I needed just what are all the ridiculous things that
how's
happen?
the way I could hitchhike to get home?
Yeah. So,
well, if we're being scientific, there's no such thing as sucking. You guys remember that from science class?
No.
There's literally no mechanism that actually creates a suction. It's all just pushing. So if something like, I don't know how to represent this.
And you guys thought we were going to lay some real facts on you. They're like, oh, cool, they're going to talk about books. It's not a fun fact.
Let's say my hand is a tube, right?
Yeah.
And stuff is being sucked through it and out this. That actually doesn't mean that stuff from here is being pulled through this way. It means that due to the lack of stuff over here, it's being pushed. So the force doesn't originate from back here to suck stuff through. It originates back here to push it through.
So like black holes.
Yeah. So I just remember there being a phrase like science doesn't suck, it pulls or it pushes, something like that. But yeah, sucking is a term that actually doesn't exist in science because there's nothing that creates any sort of suction. It's just a distribution and trying to fill the area around something.
That's fucked up, dude.
I really don't remember
I'm
that.
not high enough for this conversation. My world just got turned inside out. Because it's totally one of those things that you're like thinking, like, you've always understood, but then when somebody explains it to you, you're like, whoa, you're fucking right. Thanks for that, Taylor. Just ruined my day. Anyway,
yeah, just Google science doesn't suck.
Yeah, so he came up with the idea for the Hitchhiker's Guide when he was like just in a park at night, just staring at the sky and whatnot, just for the radio show and the books, just wondering about space travel and other lives. And I think he had one really specific, strange thought that was like, "Oh my god, what could I do with that?" Like it. So that was actually cool. Yeah, that was at the beginning of the book. I wish I had found it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm not sure if I lent it to someone or not.
Yeah, like with like audiobooks now and stuff, it's kind of like we're going back to radio programs that were like that. Like, War of the Worlds was originally a radio program. And I think it would be so fucking cool if there was... I don't know if those were recorded, and I don't know if those tapes exist, but it would be so fucking cool to listen to, like, the original fucking transcripts of all of these fucking books that were not books, but were just radio programs that were turned into books, and then War of the Worlds was turned into a really god-awful movie. But, like...
What are you talking about, dude? That movie kicked ass.
I will literally send you my shit in the mail.
Yeah, it's
what
hard
else
to
do you
say.
get super upset about? Something with Star Wars, right?
I will fucking kill you.
I don't know if they would have recorded that. That's actually
Yeah, that's
tough
what
to
I, like,
say.
I just want
Oh,
to...
what was?
What?
I'm gonna think about it, Bob, without looking it up.
I know what it
Don't let
is.
your ambitions choke you or something.
Don't choke on your ambitions.
Don't choke on your ambitions.
Fucking...
Do you need my PO box? Just let me know your...
I just got so mad.
All right. Well, this has been episode 73.
We're just gonna end it like that?
Yeah,
huh?
we're just
No,
gonna-
fuck that. We're not ending it like that.
Oh. You got anything? I don't think he's got it.
I need a minute.
I am mildly surprised that nobody mentioned Harry Potter.
I never read
thought
the
that-
books.
That was... Really?
Yeah. I started reading the first one, but I never got very far.
Fun
I
fact.
think I read them in school because it was like part of a class where you could choose what book you read. So it was, I guess, versus other books.
Fun fact of the day about me. I read the third one first.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was a series. Just grabbed it and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I grabbed it and started read through it and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Hey, Vanna. Hello. Vanna Kitty. Vanna. Vanna, you look at me.
She's like,
Look
no.
at that.
Ah, there she is. She's like, I don't like computers and you know that.
I'm not staring at anybody. I'm going to sleep. Just leave me alone.
Hey, it's nap time, bro. Ah, there it is.
Nope.
Oh,
What are you
there it
doing?
is. There it is. Piercing your soul. We're like not even looking at the camera. We're just looking off to the side looking at
Yeah.
Taylor.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know. Is there any books down there you want to talk about real quick? What to expect when you're expecting? It's a great book.
The Twilight series.
Oh, those were so good.
Oh,
I'm surprised.
how
no
did
one
we
mentioned
forget those?
Oh, the Grimm fairy tales. That was another one I actually wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
The fucking Grimm fairy tales are amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that.
That's the
What?
original stories of all like Little Red Riding Hood and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. And
Before they were all like
Disneyed up.
kidneyized.
Yeah.
Kiddenized.
Kittenized.
Whatever.
Kitten cat mouse.
Yeah. Will you hand me that purple book right there that's still in the wrapping?
Yeah. Okay.
This here. Oh, sorry. Is a book. You know the movie The Brothers Grimm with Matt Damon and yeah. That's kind of basically
Ledger.
yeah, Heath Ledger. That was the other guy. That's basically what this is. It's like the original stories of the fairy tales that became fairy tales. Like this was what they were before.
Before they were tamed down. Before
So like
before the now stories you get where everything works out at the end.
yeah, this does not end that way.
Yeah.
It's
Like
it's
Hansel and Gretel actually got cooked type stuff.
Yeah, no, I think they eat the witch at the end.
Oh,
Yeah, that one's like
Okay.
like it's fucked up. Like I want to open it, but I don't because I feel
Collectors.
because this is like it's got like all the classic pictures in it, and I don't want to like
Yeah, that's
ruin
fair.
it. So like, I don't know if you want to throw that back down there, but yeah, that's another really good one.
Yeah, I think we're good.
The Zombie Survival Guide's a good book, but
Yeah.
it's kind of more like a jokey kind of book, but still kind of funny at the same time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I think this has been episode 73.
I just realized Sarah actually bought War of the Worlds. I just saw it down there,
Oh.
and I'm so disappointed.
I think for viewers, if you're if you're not into books or if you haven't read all that much, at least try it out because there's so much more that you can take away from. I'm not going to call it nerdy, but there's this whole other medium of information that you can really get invested into. And if you're really not into books, maybe pick up some of the books that we mentioned and at least try to get into it because it's a totally different experience than watching a movie or listening to music or playing a video game. But there's still so much enjoyment in it. And I kind of feel like reading books is something that's really dying out. So at least give it a try. If you don't like it, whatever, fuck you. But if you do like it, then there's a lot of really, really, really good books out there, really good information out there that you can only get through books.
Yep.
So
I got the name wrong on my detailed book earlier. It's 14th Reinstated. That's the name of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just sorry, random thought that popped in my head. But yeah, seriously.
You know what else was a really terrible movie that was a book? Battlefield Earth.
Never saw it or read it, I don't think.
is that the one with John Travolta?
Yeah.
Isn't that like what is it? Scientology book or something?
No, Battlefield Earth is about aliens that come down to kind of like take over the world. Like,
Right, but I think it's like based on a religion.
is it?
I think so.
I have to reread it. I read it when I was a kid,
We
long
can look
fucking
that
time
one
ago,
up afterwards.
and I was really excited about the movie. And then the movie came out, and I was like, "This is fucking garbage." But yeah,
But yeah, pick up one of these books.
Yeah, no, Battlefield Earth is about Scientology.
huh.
Well,
Look at that.
So there you go.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know.
So Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah,
they'll remake it with him. It'll come in time.
yeah. God, I hope so.
Just be running.
I don't want to.
You don't want it. You
I
don't.
don't want to do it.
Okay. Yeah, pick up one of the books we suggested, or let us know if you have a good book suggestion.
Dude, you know what they should do
What?
to finish the Firefly series? Because it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Somebody should just write a fucking book to bridge the gap between Firefly to Serenity.
They could. I'm surprised somebody hasn't
Yeah.
worked on it. Granted,
What the fuck?
I mentioned this earlier, episodes ago. Never seen either of those. I think you got mad at me. I don't remember.
I just feel like I just need to kidnap you for like a month and just have you sit down and just like force feed you fucking shows and movies and books.
Probably.
Like,
Be careful,
do this,
Dave.
do this, do this one, now this one, now this one.
It'd probably be the most effective thing, because without a little influence most of the time, I'm like, well, maybe I'll just do this instead.
I could do that.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, let us know your suggestions for books. Is there any that you would like, or if you haven't been that into reading, which one of the ones we've said would you like to read?
Obviously Twilight.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of talked about like our top books, but that's not to say that we don't know about more books. So if you hear a book that sounds kind of interesting, or maybe you're like, oh, do you guys have any suggestions about a book about this or about this? Feel free to ask us, and we can definitely point you in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless it's
Sure,
a graphic romance novel.
I mean, maybe.
That'd be fun.
We could just
Yeah.
Google like the top ones and just send them to you.
I suggest.
I suggest.
No,
this
they
one
can find
was-
that on there.
Yeah, I suggest this one that was suggested by Google.
I think I got one or two I could probably suggest.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, if you want to get a hold of us, give any comments, question, concern, you can do it at Gmail or generalnerdcast@gmail.com.
I have to open the dog doors.
Okay, you don't go do that. We have a Facebook, General Nerdcast, or you can hit us up on Twitter at General Nerdcast. We also have a Patreon. If you want to donate and help grow the show, you can do that. Patreon/General Nerdcast. We also have a YouTube where you can watch these videos at. Give us suggestions, comments on them. Let us know if there's anything you guys would like to see. General Nerdcast YouTube. And then rate us on iTunes. It'll help us spread the word on the show, help us grow, get it out there for more people to listen to. And then that'll help us create more content.
I was trying to figure out why she was whining, and then I was like, oh yeah, the dogs haven't been home in a really long time, so we locked the doors.
Well, yeah, hit us up on all those. Rate us, maybe spread the word. Tell other people about us. It really helps get us out there.
So what did I miss?
Just the plugging.
You need to say your sweet stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you have any questions, comments, just kidding, I know. So, yeah, if you're listening to us in the morning, we have a great morning, great rest of your day. If you're listening to us in the Rockstar afternoon, I don't know why that distracted me so much, but when you did that, I totally lost my train of thought. If you're listening to us in the afternoon, I hope you had a great morning, great rest of your evening, day, super fun time. If you're listening to us in the evening, do it while you're eating dessert. We'll fill your sweet earbud holes with great words, mouths, and you can fill your mouth with sweet stuff that you love to put in your mouth.
Cow tongues.
Cow tongue. Oh, gross. I mean, unless you're into that, then whatever. I don't care.
We're talking tacos. It's actually pretty good.
Cow tongue tacos?
Yeah,
That's
lengua.
the thing?
There's so many different food ideas out there for things. It's amazing and scary.
Yeah, cow tongue tacos or lengua.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
That might be cheek, actually. I think it's tongue, but it might be cheek. Either way, delicious.
I'm just gonna stay with ground beef and just be oblivious to the fact that stuff's probably in there, and then just we'll move on with my life. God, I want fucking tacos now.
Pig penis tacos, got it.
Pig penis tacos. Let's do that. They're swirly tacos.
Isn't there a restaurant in Japan that's pure penis? All they serve is animal dick.
I hope so. That sounds awesome.
I forget if it's Anthony Bourdain or Andrew Zimmerman, but I think one of the two of them went to a strictly penis restaurant in Japan.
That's weird. If you're listening to this right before you go to bed, I hope this sweet talks of penises fill your sweet dreams full of dick. We love you. Thank you for listening.
Smooches.
Fucking dick restaurant.